What's up, guys? How everybody doing tonight?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Hold on. Can y'all? Is I'm still echoing?
No, no.
Okay, I had other browser. Okay, guys, we're gonna get into some topics. How are you guys?
Still standing, unlike our president.
Oh shoot! I sent it without putting
Hello.
Yep,
I'm trying to make sure I'm not lagging. It sounds like I'm lagging a little bit.
you're not lagging.
Hold on. I'm echoing. Oh, girl. Hold
You
on.
must be echoing on your end.
Yeah, I hear myself on my end. Give me 1 minute. Close too. My browser's closed. Close this one. Is this one closed? Oh, my shit is closed. Okay, what about now? Is I'm better?
You sound the same.
Sound the
Yeah,
same.
you
I was
sound the
hearing
same
echo.
to
That's
us.
what I'm saying. I was hearing myself. So, okay, guys, we're gonna get into some topic. How was everybody week? I'm sorry about that. Let's start from the top. How everybody week was.
It's been phenomenal for me. Went
It was
out
good.
on a little
Okay.
dinner date earlier
Nice.
with
What
some
about you, Jamie? How was your
West
week?
Atlanta trade. It was good.
You
Had a
know,
good day today. Nothing
it was.
nasty. All holy.
We love that. It was a good week. We had it was a short week. We had Memorial Day weekend.
Oh,
So praise God for that because I love a good 4 day work week.
right. Okay, okay, okay. Love it. How did you spend your Memorial, Tia? It was also Pentecostal Sunday too, right? For you.
Yes, it was. Yeah, right off the back of Pentecost Sunday. Lord Jesus help us. So I went to. Anyway, I went out of town. Yeah.
Did you go to DC?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
went
even
to
think
the
she goes
state
to
above
like
us and spent it with a friend.
Nice.
Got refreshed and came on down 85.
what about you, Dante? How did you spend yours?
Friday night I went to go see. I did date night, so went to go see Little Mermaid. I recommend everyone go see that. Very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I did the jazz festival. My boyfriend and I, we took our tent out there, sat in Piedmont Park, just listened to some jazz music.
Okay, yeah, and I also seen you earlier too. I seen you out and about Saturday. So yeah. Okay. Also seen in there though, before we get into the topic, I also seen did y'all see the thing where Dr. Omar what he said about the Little Mermaid and the Black and Spider-Man? Well, a lot of people was coming at him because they was taking that he was saying don't go see the movie and stuff like that. Are y'all familiar with Dr. Umar?
Yeah.
I am familiar with him, but I'm not familiar with any comments. I'm sorry. I'm 35
Well, he
years old. I
said
saw Little Mermaid when I was a child, so I just kind of wanted to go see the live action movie.
Yeah.
I didn't
well
think about anything else besides that.
I
he
and
said
I
they
think
had
I
mhm.
think with the Little Mermaid for people who are like 30 and up in our generation, it was just that like we want to go have a little sense of nostalgia
Right.
and
Exactly.
fuck everything else. You know what I'm saying? So
I was in there
I
singing the songs.
yeah, right, right. Hattie
um
did her thing. So I heard of the comments, but I didn't really pay attention because I'm like I'm still gonna go see Hallie sing her face off. So
yeah, he was saying that they had her swimming around in white milk. Like, and he was just saying, like, even though they had her, the black woman in the movie, they still couldn't let us have everything black. He said they had her swimming in white. I forgot how he described it, but he was like when she was swimming in a white and milk at some point in the movie because I never watched Little Mermaid period, so I wouldn't know. But he said that she was swimming in some white milk or something, or white water at one point. Yeah, I don't remember that part.
I
You
mean,
know, I
honestly,
didn't.
I didn't even think about it in that regard. I mean, I saw the Little Mermaid because it's something that I watched as a child, and I just wanted to go see the live action. So, everything else outside the movie theater in that moment, I didn't care about. I enjoyed the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You said that you seen it as a child. What is the difference from the cartoon to the live action? Did they change the storyline, or is it just real people like this time?
I don't want to give too much for the people who do want to go see it. To me, it was still the same exact storyline, just now live people. I think I mean, just to critique it, I'm not a CG person, but I understand why they had to use it because they want to make it as real as possible. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a CG computer generated person. I kind of miss the old school movie theater where movie production where you just bring people, you do the production building, you put value into it. I miss the old artwork that we used to do. Instead of we need to get away from all this computer stuff, in my personal opinion.
Okay. Um, what about you, Jamie? Did you see it yet?
I have not seen it yet. I'm gonna go and see it this weekend though.
You,
I
Tia?
already have my
Yeah,
ticket.
I'm am seeing probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
I see if Trey want to go see it. I might drag Trey out to see it with me tomorrow night. For real. Yeah.
but this the thing though. I never watched the Little Mermaid when I was little, so I have no desire to go see it now. But the fact that they also said it was um the fifth largest movie, like for Memorial Day weekend, it was the
Oh,
fifth
what?
largest opening. So that was very impressive for the Black
Little
girl to
Mermaid.
start that.
Hallie ate. Good job, Hallie. She ate. That's my girl.
Okay, so let's jump right into the hot topics, if y'all don't mind. So what we're gonna get into tonight, of course, we got two things to talk about. We're gonna first talk about, I guess, celebrating gay pride. Celebrate. I know they call it Gay Pride Month, but I want to make it Gay Black Pride Month. So I want to kind of ask you guys, what exactly does celebrating gay pride and Black gay pride mean to you guys? With you, I want to go with you first, Dante.
Well, I don't just celebrate gay people in just 1 month. I don't celebrate black people in just 1 month. I kind of do a 365. So there's my opinion on that.
What does that mean? Break it down some more.
I don't think a month could really give in detail how much gay people have really given to culture, to society, to the
Hmm.
American fabric. And I'm also talking about people who have not been acknowledged, that have been behind the scene, that have pulled a lot of strings. I mean, we can talk about the person who helped MLK. We can talk about all these divas from Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, to make them so glamorous in Hollywood, to make these actresses, uh, you know, seem like goddesses. There's a lot of stuff that gay people do that just don't get a lot of recognition, and I don't think 1 month could contribute to all the success they have done for our really just culture.
But okay, so you okay with celebrating gay pride? You just would, if you had a child, you would celebrate it with your child, or how would that work? Because I know you had a lot of pushback last week on some of our topics. How would that work if you had a child? Would you be okay with celebrating it with your child as a family?
I mean, if you're asking me, would I take my child to
No, I'm just saying, no, whatever your tradition is. Like, let's say that you say every month in June, this is gonna be my family gay pride event. I'm just saying for you, how would you celebrate it with your child? Not like a parade.
well, I don't know because I don't celebrate Pride right now. So I mean that's kind of a hard question to ask me. Um,
Okay.
I mean, I will go to a pride parade, but I'm just not celebrating. It's more so just me getting out of the house and doing something. So I really already don't celebrate pride as it is. So it's difficult to really ask me that question.
Okay. What about you, Tia? Like, how you celebrating gay pride?
Dante, I live for you. I just,
I'm that person. Some people might hate it, and that's fine. But
I live.
I'm
No,
gonna
I
be
live. I love it.
I'm gonna be myself, and I'm just gonna tell the
And
truth.
that's
Well, it's
ironic as it
at
is.
first, Dante, it sounded like
I
you were
kind of
saying you.
agree. I have to side with Dante on this. I, I, I'm not going to. I'm not going to any gay stuff functions.
Mhm. So how you
But I
celebrating
feel like every I feel like for me, every day is pride.
Okay.
That's why I take pride in how I look and how I present myself to the public, how
Got
I,
you.
how I move. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna do nothing out of the ordinary. If I had kids, I would not. And plus, no shade, but my nerves get too many LGBT. That setting, my nerves get bad, and I ain't got no Ambien. My doctor got to re-prescribe me some more. I
But
can't take it.
let me ask
My
you this though.
nerves
How
get
would you
bad.
celebrate it? Like, how would you put a spin on it? What would you do? Like, what would your celebration look like? You know what I mean? What would Tia's celebration look like?
You know what? I would like to maybe do a live where I do all LGBT music artists.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
Nice.
I
okay,
think that would
okay.
be really nice where I play the piano with,
Yeah, you
familiar
can
music
play
of
that piano,
LGBT.
boy.
Yes,
You
thank
play that
you.
thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I
What
think that
about
would
you,
be a way
Jamie?
of celebrating.
All right, so I feel much like T and Dante, right? Like I think I came out at like maybe 16 or 17. I've been gay for an extremely long time, and I'm in my mid 30s now. So I feel like yeah, it's important to have a month to where we are celebrated as people. I feel like it's great to have that sense of notoriety. For me, Pride Month means progression. Um,
Hmm.
it means progression as us as a community, right? And then also uh, progression of our community in society. And so coming out for me at what 16, 17 was like, and I grew up in the church. My pastor, my father was a pastor, mother first lady, things like that. And
Oh
so,
wow.
it was like growing up in the church. It was like my mother told me verbatim, if it ain't got it ain't right. So if you feel like you want to come out, I suggest you go find some place to stay. So, I came out. I think I came out to her after I got my acceptance letter for my undergrad, and it was the day that I was supposed to leave for school. That was a hot mess, but I feel like just knowing my journey and knowing my story, how I was so afraid to like walk in who I am now. Um, like us being progressive as a community, it is a sense of pride for me. It is a like, oh, at 16 I couldn't do that, at 17 I couldn't do that, but we got kids now kicking down the doors and daring you to be like, okay, this is who I am, mom, dad, um, get with it or get lost. I mean, that's just how it is. I wish I had the balls to do that because my mom wasn't having it. And then I think when I have kids, I would think I would celebrate it in the sense of the historical context of like how Pride started
Mm.
back in New York with the Stonewall riots and things like that. I think I was rambling a little bit. It might be the Ciroc, but yeah.
No, no, that's good. I actually would think I thought Dante was gonna say something like I like what you said about the progression. Like I would focus on in terms of if I was really into that, I would focus on the progress that the LGBTQ community has made as a whole in terms of like the laws, the institution of marriage, and all that different things like that. So that was very, insightful as well as great to kind of like know your perspective on that with that. Um, I heard you also say that you also but how is you and your mom relationship is now? Like, the fact that she was the first lady, your dad was a pastor and stuff like that.
We are the best of friends now. We're the best of friends now. It was not always like that. Obviously, I kind of played it down when I played my story down earlier because it was extremely traumatic coming out. It was not the smartest thing. It was not the wisest thing. I actually missed my first semester because my mom and I got into it really bad physically. And then there was a period to where we didn't talk. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And so I think we came around and reconnected by the way of my aunt and my grandmother at Junior's Cheesecake Factory in New York. And she had my mother at the time had came back and was like, "Hey, I know I'm paraphrasing at this point because my mother doesn't curse anymore. I know what I did was fucked up, but I do miss you as my son." And she did have a lot of regret about that time that we spent apart. And she did a lot of work on her end to be like, you're my son no matter what, and I'm gonna walk with you. And I had to do work on myself,
Hmm.
even accepting that because we went maybe 5 years without speaking to one another.
Wow.
So I had to do a lot of work on myself to be like, okay, I have to be mentally and emotionally accepting of, what my mother is saying. And I think, in a really weird way, we needed that because my mother and I, prior to me coming out, were really close. I think after we had to go through that to get to a point to where I always saw us, which is where we are now. That's my best friend,
Hmm.
and she will stomp up down if somebody drop that F word um,
Right.
against me. So
Okay. What about you, Tia? I know that when we didn't start there, but how was your story like when you came out to your mom in terms of like you want to transition? Would you support it in that way, or was that what
Oh
was
yes,
that?
extremely supported. And my dad wasn't my biological dad was a pastor as well. Um, and my mother, well, see, unlike you all, I came out twice.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Dante, I just
yes,
want to see
ma'am.
your face. That's all I want to do is see your face.
Yeah.
Dante, you already. But um the I thank God that my mother's like my sister. I was a grandma's baby. And my mother told me that I always knew that you were gonna be different. And so
Mhm.
she in a way kind of low key like shielded and affirmed me. Like she knew when we was growing up, I wasn't gonna play with no action figure or no GI Joe. So I
Mhm.
remember when she bought me My Little Pony, and her and my dad, they went at it for days. That really,
Oh, so she bought you that
she
as a
sure did.
as a little boy?
Uh huh,
Wow.
she did. My grandmother would do weird, funny things like um, I grew up in a conventional family in Kansas. So when it was dinner time, the girls were in the kitchen helping prepare,
Right,
and the
right, right.
boys would be like, watching sports or outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it was. Now, she passed in 2013, but um, anytime she would be cooking, and she would use that time to make them wives. And
Mm-hmm.
so anytime she would be cooking, somehow she would always summons me to the kitchen while she would be giving these girls advice
On how to be
on
a
how
good
to
wife.
treat a man. Yeah, on how to be a wife and how you cook and how you treat a man. And she taught us this may help some of the people on here to not keep a man. If your husband come in the house and he's hungry and you don't know what to fix, you can put some oil in a pot and cut up some bell peppers and some onions,
That
and that
smell.
that aroma will hold
Mm-hmm.
him until you figure out what you're gonna cook for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Just different things and wisdom and stuff that she would give us, and so they always knew. I think they knew before I knew. When I became when it came time for me to transition, I told my mother, and I think I told a little bit of it last week. I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like, because
So
prior
telling
to
her,
I was
so,
known in music.
so telling
Go ahead.
her your transition was harder than you coming out as being gay in the beginning.
Yes. And I
Okay.
say that because my mother, um, let me see. My grandmother passed in 2013. I transitioned 2015. So my mother was still grieving her mother passing. So when I transitioned, she thought that I was killing the old me and giving her a new me, like it was two different people. So that in that aspect, it was difficult for her.
Mm.
But when I first told her, um, she said, I support you, I love you. The only thing I ask is you be the best woman you know how to be because you come from a line of strong women,
Strong one, yeah.
strong black women. And we've been rocking ever since.
Awesome. Dante, what about you before we move on to the next topic? How was your story? You coming out?
Uh, the first person I told was my twin brother. I forgot what year was that, but after I told him, he's like my best friend. So after I told him, it really didn't matter what else the world thought.
So
Uh,
you didn't care about your mom and dad opinion as much as your brothers?
nope, didn't really
Oh
care.
wow. Why was
Um,
that?
my twin brother and I, we've always been close. We just had that brotherly bond.
Did
Um,
he already know?
did he already know? He suspected, but no, he did not already know. He did suspect.
Because that twin
After I
bond.
decided to stop having sex with guys and girls, that's when I told my mother.
Oh,
And
so you used to have sex with women too at some point?
mhm,
Okay. Are you still a sexual attracted to women?
I am still. I think women are attractive. I wouldn't say that I'm sexually. I don't think I would have sex with
Gotcha. It was
a
only
I
female.
am. I'll be a lesbian for a night or a week.
gotcha. Oh wow. Wow. So your brother, he was okay with that. It was a great. It was. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother, he didn't care. And actually, my mother didn't care. My nobody in my family really cared. I think they were more uh, head turned about the fact that I was a Republican than anything.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. I can
which
see that. I
I
can
mean,
see
the only person who really accepted
that.
it and loved it was my father because he secretly let me know he was a Republican too. He just never told my mother.
Okay.
Now
Wow.
my dad did have the biggest issue to this day. My dad is having a difficult time.
Oh, is he?
Accept that.
Yeah, really difficult time.
Wow. I think for me though, I
Are
never.
you the firstborn? If you don't mind me asking,
No, I'm the baby.
you're the okay.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
how many brothers and sisters you have?
Hmm. Now it's four of us all together, and from my mother, it's two.
Okay.
Okay. Small family. Okay then. Well,
Mhm.
like I said, guys, we are celebrating. I know it's Pride Month, but for me, I want to say Gay Black Pride Month and stuff like that. For me, though, I think like we need to celebrate things in terms of like I think Jamie said earlier, in terms of the progress as well as laws that's in place, as well as laws that they're trying to put in place. I think we need to focus more on that type of stuff when we celebrate these type of Pride Month versus going out partying, which most 90% of gay people that's 18 and older do that anyway already before it is Pride Month. So I think we need to focus on stuff like that, laws that's going into place. Laws that if we, if you don't, if you get a certain senator in place or a certain person in place, they're going to put these different laws in place like that. So I feel like those are the type of things that we should be more focused on this whole month versus just a colorful flag and a photo op and different things like that. But everybody can celebrate it how they feel. Please to it. Any more comments, questions about this topic, guy, before we move on?
Nope.
No. Okay. Okay.
No,
I
Let's.
just
not
want
really.
gay people to
But
be gay.
You go back.
yeah,
Mhm.
one thing that you are challenging me with is my mind. My wheels are spinning on how what celebrating pride looks like for
Mhm.
me
Yeah.
because I don't. I love the fact that I'm trans and I receive and accept that. However, I'm not one that's gonna walk around with a trans shirt on and
Hmm.
I just I feel like you should be who you are. And I think that a lot of these things are kind of put people people move this way. They're like they got to be and I was like that when I first transitioned. I'm here, you gonna accept me.
Uh-huh.
Um
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got to know, and
Mm.
all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, when you are who you are who you are.
It don't matter.
It doesn't
Don't matter.
matter if I
Yeah,
wear a rainbow flag or not.
yeah. But some
Um,
people do feel the need, and I always wonder. It's so funny you said that. Some people do feel the need to wear that badge of honor. And some
but
people
if you
don't.
accept yourself, what your neighbor think, it don't matter.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Tia, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Some
Lord
people,
Jesus.
some people in our community have not yet accepted themselves. That's why they need
Oh,
all
I
these
know that.
social media likes, and that's why they need to wear this flag to show that, oh, I am here, because they need all the attention. And that's why I'm so arrogant. And some people might hate it because I've accepted myself a long time ago, and I give two fucks what anybody think.
Okay,
Exactly. But
Jamie.
we come from a music. I mean, excuse me. We come from a. I get it though, it's in some sense, because when you, especially us that come up out of the church. Well,
Yeah,
I'm still there, but like when you've been demonized and you've been taught to
Mhm.
deny yourself, and you've been taught, programmed to that you got a spirit, and you've been programmed to hate yourself, and you
Mhm.
finally get to a place or a community that receives you. It's kind of like you combat all of that stuff, that inner turmoil, with how you celebrate, with how you move about. So I get it, but it's just like, I guess you just, Dante, you have to do a lot of we have to do a lot of like inner work to get to that place. You're just not gonna
Mhm.
trip upon it.
mm,
I love that last part of what you. I love everything about what you said. Um, I want to expound upon the last part specifically about what you said. Um, More specifically, growing up in the church or any space to where you feel like you know you're hiding or you're not able to fully walk within who you feel like you need to walk into, right? And I when I see people who are, because I consider myself, some mildly flamboyant or feminine, but then you have the yes. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. But I feel like um some of the reason behind that is because you've been told you are this, you are that, this is
Yeah.
not right for so long. And then when you're finally able to have that moment or that space or that curse to have that release, um, it's done in such a dramatic, over the top way. And it's just, I see it as a form of expression. Now, I've seen people who came out or came into themselves like that, and then over time, it's like, you know what, girl, I got it out of my system. I'm good.
Right,
I'm
Right.
right,
good now.
right.
Like, that happened when I was
He
18,
said,
19.
my flamboyant days are over with.
I'm
Yeah.
35 now. Like, I'm good. Like, I got that out of my teenage years. I think it's necessary for both sometimes. But I also think growth is extremely necessary too, because you can't be that flaming. I mean, you can. It's not what, it's not my forte, but, I think all things are necessary. All things need a process or a progress.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the same energy one would put in being flamboyant, if
Hmm.
they put that same energy into themselves. Like,
Hmm.
honey, homework is real.
Yeah,
Life's homework, I call it. You know
no,
what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
I
I
agree.
was wondering why. One of the biggest battles that I fought was because of the tumultuous relationship. See, my dad was molested by a
mm,
family member. So early on, he thought in his mind, anybody LGBT is a molester, a raper.
Hmm.
mm,
And then I got my child. So now it's like, are you a molester or rape? You get what I'm saying?
right.
And
Yeah.
so it's just like, so we never had a decent, a good relationship at all. So the homework that I had to do um, in my late 20s, because I began to see a pattern. Every man that I dated, I tried to make him into the man that I wanted my father to be.
Mm,
See, I'm saying, when you don't do homework, You create a life that's toxic for everybody, even yourself.
Mm.
So can't nobody tell you you ain't gotta be like that. Just be. You can't receive that because you're avoiding the conundrums inside yourself and overcompensating with yes and gotta be seen. Don't let a pack of niggas be sitting there. You want to prance past them to be seen. It's just
Come
and I
on.
just prefer. I know I got it
Mhm.
right. And so
Hmm.
I just prefer that. Yes, it is balance. Yes, it is growth. But we really, we just have a lot of
social.
noise going on, with
Yeah, I
drugs
think
and
you just
drinking,
said it. I love it. It's
sex.
a lot of noise.
It's a lot of noise that we have to keep going on because we cannot sit with ourselves. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Where can I ask you a question before we move on? Do we need to move on, Greg?
Oh no, you can ask Jamie.
So, um, so for those of us who may, I feel what you're saying about like, you know, essentially, you don't have to do all of that, right? Um, what if, what do we think about the people that consider themselves not having anybody to look up to know what time and place means, or what, um, how to, I guess, come out, hmm, how not to be so extra, like all the time, like, because I think it's easier when you have a role model or somebody to say, "Hey, Jamie, um,
You ain't got to
sweetheart,
do all of that.
you don't have to do all that,"
For
or if you want to express yourself, there are ways to go about doing that, or just, I guess, in a sense, show your ropes. What do we say to people who don't have that role model or that person to be, to guide them or to hold their hand? Because I think a part of that is too is you don't have anybody to look up to. I
hmm
may be wrong,
that is
you know.
true because I
That is
remember back
true.
in the day. Now I'm 38, and I
Well,
remember
also too,
back in
let
my
me
day
say
we
this
had
right
den
there.
mothers. I
Let me
know a
say this right there. They had a lot of. That's the purpose for gay mothers and gay fathers
Hmm.
because of
den
that. But
mothers.
of course,
Mhm.
it's turned to something else now. But that was the original purpose of that.
Hmm.
Having a gay father and a gay mother at the time. You
Well,
can
I
finish.
think you have certain types of like gays because you do have people that could do that and take people under their wing,
Hmm.
but then you trying to screw them.
Right.
Oh
Talk
my.
Oh,
about
I
it.
know I got it right.
Hey, Bryson.
No,
Hey.
no,
You listen,
you
listen. You
actually hit on
talking
it
good
on the
now.
mark. That's the issue. Um, a
Mm.
lot of people when they do try to take somebody under their wing, there's an attraction there, and it ultimately leads to sex.
Hmm I feel
Um,
like if you got an attraction to them, just leave them alone. Why would you even try to say you they mother and father? That
well, if
is
you have an
That's what
attraction
they
to
do
them,
to
why don't
get
you
close. That's
be
how you
the
get
man
you
or the
get in
woman
the
and start
door.
from that point? Like if
uh,
you
People.
find somebody attractive, just go ahead and start there instead of being very
yeah,
sneaky and trying to slither your way into
and
someone's life.
converting and perverting the mother and father role.
Right.
Just say you like them, or find another way to do what you do rather than putting a
And
label of
saying
mother
mother,
and father.
yeah. Can
Because
I
there are
comment
ways
on
for that
that?
person to be vulnerable, and once that person is vulnerable and really is in need of somebody, that's when they're going to swoop in and try to be that hero.
Right, right,
Hmm.
yeah.
I have
Hey,
actually seen.
Bryson.
Hey, how you doing? Hi, everybody.
What's up, Bryce?
Hi, hello. I actually seen this firsthand. I personally am not the person that agrees with like the whole mother, father, son,
Yeah,
take
it's hard for
creator.
me to call a man a gay my mother. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I just can't see it just because I've seen. I remember when I first came down here to Atlanta and I saw there was this big huge story and they had this guy who was about maybe about 20 something and he was like an influencer at the time. He did a lot of makeup and he had all these young kids that were coming to his household and call him the gay father and gay father this and I was like, okay, I could understand like some of them might be kicked out or might need help or something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But then I started hearing and seeing stories where these people were coming out saying that they were being molested or forced to have
Mm,
sex or forced to stay
Uh-huh.
in that, like in order to stay in the household having sex, and they were exchanging diseases and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So it's just sometimes they just take it a little bit to an advantage, and I think that I can understand the sense that people want to have family, you know what I mean? But I don't think that creating that kind of dependency on someone is healthy, especially if you're just trying to get out You can create your family, but you also, I still feel like you still need to learn how to grow with are you where you are as of right now, so that you can grow as an adult to learn that you don't have to depend on anybody. Because let's just say if you were orphaned, if your mother or father wasn't there, my mother was adamant about, what if I wasn't here? What would you do? You know,
Mm.
Mhm.
so at the same time, I think that, we do have a lot of issues and a lot of things that we have, especially in our community. I don't want to make it a white or black thing, but I do
Mhm.
know
It's the truth.
we do need a lot of psychological work that we do need to work, or we need to focus on, so that we can be able to progress and realize when and relationships are unhealthy, and realize some of the things that we could fix in our community, and realize how we can be there and support each other instead of trying to read each other and have sex on each other all the goddamn time.
Yeah. And I think that my biggest thing, because me and my guy friend earlier were talking about that.
When I showed up,
Like, I think it's in character. Like, that's something that integrity and character are two things that I see
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
lack in the LGBT community.
Say it again.
yeah, but
It's
it's still some of
character
us
and
that have it.
integrity.
It's some of us. It's some of us that have integrity and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I think, but I do see the point. It is a challenge there, but I do
Yeah,
see
I'm just saying overall, it's
overall. Okay,
lacking.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say that the blanket statement to that too. And but I'm sorry, young lady, what's your name? I'm sorry, this is my first time meeting.
Tia,
Tia, nice to meet you, Tia.
nice to
I've
meet you.
I've always said, I'm glad you meet me on this side, child, because I usually have to turn. Okay. But the I would say that we really need to, and I always say this a lot, is that I think that we have been subjugated to. Ooh, that was a nice word. Subjugated to, just like little sectors of the subjugated to different sectors of the community, like especially within the black culture, because we didn't even learn how to love each other. We still have to learn how to, as black men and as black people, to not just, because everything was so subjected to freaknik, or I'll see you in the we got to sneak
But yeah,
around.
that's true. That's true.
We
That's true.
never learned really how to support one another, or really how to love out loud. So everything's, a lot of the times, that's why you get a lot of these girls that are scamming. That's why you get a lot of people that'll backstab their brother, or will talk shit about the person that they're supposed to be
Mhm.
close to, because they're
That's
not
right.
used to learning how to love on one another, because they had to do everything in secret. So I think once we repair that portion of our sector, and know that it's okay to tell you somebody that you love them, and really show that, and not seeming like, oh girl, I don't heard that he learn how to be like. There's one thing I love about my friendship with Jamie, is that Jamie always, like, I can generally say I love him because he has always been a bit. If I don't want to hear it, he gonna tell me. If he angry at me, he sure enough gonna tell me he angry at me. If he wrong, he's gonna say he wrong, and it's vice versa. And he would never, ever, ever, ever hear that my lips have said anything bad about my friend Jamie, even if somebody said, I'm not gonna let it. And it's that kind of loyalty and love that we need to learn, instead of trying to be the it girl, the next one, and people got all the new bags, and what they see on social media. If we just took a little bit more
Yeah.
time to culture ourselves, and really focus on how we're going to grow as a community, and stop being so superficial and depending on the internet to help
Yes.
us grow and be our parents. Even as a 40-year-old, some people still on the internet trying to find their parents. You get what I'm
Hmm.
Come
saying?
on.
So
That's
that's
true.
coming from.
We got to move on now, guys. That was good.
Okay.
That was good, though. Thank you for that, Bryce. So the next topic, guys, is very interesting. Um, okay, this is the wrong one. Right here, I'm gonna go right to this one. So the next topic, guys, I'm gonna talk about Elon Musk's new Twitter pronouns rules and invite bullies and LGBT. So on today, it's the first day of Pride, right? Elon Musk got on Twitter, said that he's gonna allow people to misuse, not misuse, but they don't have to go by people pronouns, and it won't be a violation to Twitter like it used to
Oh
be.
Jesus.
So the fact that he done it on the first day of Pride, a lot of LGBT groups came out and said it's going to be inviting to bullies, as far as to the LGBT community. How do y'all feel about that? You feel like the fact that people have the freedom to call you a she and he, do you feel like that's going to invite um bullying to the LGBT Q community
Who
plus
gonna go
community?
first? Who gonna go first?
I'm so
You know
fucking
what?
sick and tired of Elon Musk.
Honestly,
Then he felt. Go ahead, Doc. Go. Let me
I'm
go
probably
last.
going to be the oddball out, so I'll start on this one. And a lot of people already know how I feel about the pronouns. I just think, honestly, these pronouns are ridiculous. That's just my opinion. If I'm just going to start that it's ridiculous. I think some people are getting very carried away with it. You know,
So you agree with Elon Musk that the people's not gonna that people not gonna be in trouble by mispronouncing a person?
I agree.
I I mean, honestly, when you look at, I mean, there was a Pew Research poll that was done
Mhm.
when it comes to how just Black people view transgenderism and view people being assigned, you know, are they assigned their sex at birth or not? And over 60% of Black people believe that, if you were born a male, you are a male. If you were born a female, you are a female. There's a very small sector of people on this planet that just believe otherwise. And that is okay. And I say that to lead with, some people live off of the internet and they stay in that internet zone and realm. And guess what? When you get off that internet and go into reality, you need to understand not everybody is on the internet. And there are going to be some people who are going to bring you back into this world and let you know, you might want to be called a she, but guess what? You are a he.
Mm.
And some people might not like that, but guess what? One plus one is two.
Can I piggyback?
Go ahead.
No, no piggyback, Bryce. I'm coming to you,
Okay.
Jamie. Jamie, what do you think about this new rule for Twitter?
Um,
Oh,
I'm
and
think.
can another thing that I add, can we get a list of all these pronouns? Because I feel like this is just being added on every single day,
Yeah, it just
just
seems like
like
every year
LGBTQ,
it's a new
and it's
Oh,
pronoun.
getting confusing.
it's 100 now. It's 100.
This
It's
is
100.
ridiculous. I mean, are we about to just say a wop
Is
baba
it
boo
really
baba
100,
and
Bryce? Are
boom
you
is another
saying it?
pronoun?
No, no, no.
I
I
mean,
swear to God.
seriously.
No,
It's
hold on.
100
No,
pronouns.
there's 100 pronouns, and they just and even in the UK, guess what? Guess what they're trying to do in the UK? They are
What is
trying to
it?
put two SL LGBTQ in the pronouns now, in the acronym. Now they're saying basically saying two gender, spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, AT. Like they just keep adding stuff. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
Honestly, this
that's
is
not
a
new, by the
person.
way,
This is
Bronson.
more about personality than it is about sexuality. A lot of people just want to express their personality, and that's completely fine. But I don't have to call you Tinkerbell. I don't want to call you Tinkerbell.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the pronoun is
So,
he, she, and they, right? Though that's what they talk about when they say pronoun. Like the people that call, they want to be identified as he, she, they. I don't know the rest. That's all
Don't
I
forget
know.
There's one to
Z.
start
There's
with
Z.
Frey as well.
Yep.
One
Frey,
star with what?
Z. There's Frey. There's Z. There's Zay.
What
There's
is that?
that's what look at it. That's what they got. They
so,
We should add
so
one called
there,
Stupidity.
so there are there are a lot of pronouns, and I can understand um how people get tripped up on them. When I had to re-educate myself about pronouns, shit, I was getting tripped up on them. It was facilitating courses about pronouns, and then next thing I know, there's another one added. But that's a different. That's I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'm going back to Elon Musk. Didn't he sell like Twitter to like a cat or something like that? I can't take anything he says out of his mouth seriously. I feel like
But how do you feel
I
about the
feel like
pronoun?
what?
How do you feel about
I'm
the
getting
pronoun?
there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. I feel like anything that comes out of his mouth right now, he's just doing because he's Elon Musk, right? And I feel like he's very strategic about the buffoonery that comes out of his mouth. He knew today was the first day of motherfucking gay people month, and
Gave me the money.
you gonna open your
That makes
goddamn
sense.
mouth and spew some fool tomfoolery like that. Fuck.
But actually, it's a good business decision because it gets everybody on Twitter
Talking.
talking.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I mean, people are always on Twitter talking. It's
Right.
another reason for him to open up his mouth and speak. That's what
It'll
I
get
feel
more
like.
people
I
on
feel
So
his
do
like
you feel
platform
like
for those
pronouns are
advertising.
important, Jamie, for
you said
you?
what?
Do you feel like pronouns are important for you?
Yeah, I feel like pronouns are important. I mean, to me, it's not a big deal. I feel like I he, him, his, she, her, hers is me. I'm very open and accepting to that. Um, because I know at the end of the day,
But what
regardless,
about
I'm
the people
Jamie.
that want to fight you if you don't call them a she? The trans girl that want to fight you and slice you up because you want to
So,
call.
and
Sure
I
do.
feel like, all right. So where I feel like pronouns are important is the respect aspect of it, right? If
Mm.
I am presenting as one and I'm asking you to,
You
um,
can't do that no more.
res-
Remember?
no, let me finish. If I'm presenting as one and I'm asking you and I've educated you, hi, my name is Jamie. I go by she, her, hers, and that's that. I feel like it's a respect thing, right? Also, uh, uh, a safer thing to do is if you don't know, ask
If
or
that's the
call
case, you gotta
somebody
ask
by their name.
everybody. You're gonna have to ask everybody or just call
I
them by their
mean,
name.
Right.
I would rather you ask than to misdemeanor somebody and one of my trans sisters punch you dead in the throat,
But
and then
Wait,
now you.
Jamie, you know I love you, but
But
I
at the
just
same
have to know.
time,
So if you and I just met you
yeah,
and we are having a good conversation, do I have to
Mhm.
say, Jamie, what's your preferred pronoun?
they
I
put in
think
their
that
bio now.
I
It's in
I
everybody is
it's on
bio and
applications
bio and
too.
stuff. So
bio
it's
right.
very important.
So I think so. Uh, I come from a space to where that's the norm, right? Even at work, we'd have that in our signatures because we work with people. We work with people in the healthcare center. We work with people outside of the healthcare setting. So we have to have that cultural competency to be like, oh, hi, Tia, my name is Jamie. You know, what are your preferred pronouns? That's
Mhm.
literally how we start a conversation. Now, if we at a bar,
Right, which I want
Right.
to speak to. I want to speak
you
to real
know,
fast.
A couple
I
of
feel like
drinks
there's a way
in.
to out what I would do what I have done is just ask somebody their name. If you don't know, that is the safest thing.
Now, can I
All right.
speak to that? Can I speak to that real fast?
Bryce, we're
Because
gonna let you go last. We're gonna let Tia go, then you going
okay,
last. Okay,
okay.
I
Tia.
want to hear Dante when after Bryson
Okay,
because
Tia.
that's some good dialogue.
Ooh,
I partially agree with Dante. Well, first of all, let me go here.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught this. It's not what they called you, it's what
Is
they
what you
answer,
answer
was
to.
what you answer to.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Number two, my mother used to tell us, I grew up in Kansas, so I didn't grow up raising myself. I grew up with grandma and
Not
mama
raising
and dad.
yourself.
So my mother used to tell us, if ain't nothing for sale, take the sign down.
Mm.
Oh, girl, say that again. I'm writing that down. What the fuck, girl? Say that again. What? I gotta. That just hit my brain. Wait a minute. Am I the only one?
Right, I'm still trying to figure that out. What?
If ain't nothing for sale, take the sign down.
What that mean?
We so if I want now, what would I look like on here? Looking how I'm looking, I think I look pretty well.
Mm, right. Mm-hmm.
And I say, y'all call me a him. Well, take the sign down.
I see what you're saying. I got you. I got you. So you saying
Okay.
if you look the part, then I'm sure they're not gonna most likely call you a
Because
him.
like Dante said, you're coming from people who everybody don't live in Atlanta.
That's true.
Everybody, you go to some towns. I travel a lot for music. And you go, I thank God that, I have the privilege. I believe that passing is a privilege. I thank God that I have the privilege to pass. But you can go to some towns and they don't know about they and them and
Yeah,
Z
yeah.
and
But
all
they
that
take
kind
it
of
so
stuff. They're gonna
personal
go
though.
off of
And I
what
mean,
they see.
but when you don't know, it seems like they still take it
And I
personal.
don't feel like that they should be demonized or beat up because
Mhm.
they don't know. Hell, I'm a trans woman, but I grew up where we had den mothers. You know what
What
I'm
is that?
saying? So it was a
Yeah, what is
den
that?
mother was like a mother that, and it could be a male or a female. They kind of took you in when your family would like um ostracize you,
Okay.
and she taught you like how to survive in the world. And so she would tell you, the, crazy stuff, but it would help you
Right, girl,
for
blend
and
your
make you
makeup.
ready.
Put your wig on
Exactly.
straight.
Exactly. And so
Mhm.
that was a den mother, but we don't.
Hmm
I mean, but anyway, to answer the question, um, I don't necessarily. I do think that that invites a lot of bullying, just because most of the people on Twitter, they know about the internet. They know about different things. And
Mhm.
there are some people, all they need is the green light. No matter how fishy I look, they want to call me a male.
Do you get offended they
They
don't
just
call
need a,
you a she?
I don't.
You
I'm
don't.
pretty secure with me.
Okay.
You know,
Bryson, let
I
me get
just
your
don't.
feedback.
We need to bring Tia back. I love Tia. I
Bryson.
just met her and
Mm,
I love Tia.
yes, I like Tia. I like Tia.
Hmm
Hold on. My titties is showing. Hold on.
Tia is T,
Yeah,
son.
Tia. I like Tia because you give me you give. I will say this, Tia. I'm glad because I thought we was about to go into a full drag down, honey. Um, and I'm glad that you can understand. Now, here's what I want to say is that I do want to speak to a situation about what Jamie was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, I had a date, and it was I met this man. He was 6'5". He was 350 pounds, muscular, nice beard, like Muslim beard, bald head. We vibing and all other kind of stuff. We having a good old time,
You
right?
got a brother.
Oh, well, I don't know yet, because I might need to figure it out. Because after I talk to him, I don't want his ass no more. But
So what happened?
Wait,
so we
that's the
get to the
bro code. You can't have sex with the brother.
well. Let me just say what
No, that's
happened. Let me tell you what happened
exactly
first.
what you do.
Yeah.
Brother,
So let me
Well, it ain't
but
no
go
tell you what
ahead.
fun if the
happened.
brother can't have none.
Right. So let me tell you what happened. So we at the bar, and then this gorgeous, 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 gorgeous white boy comes up, and he just like, "Oh, you're so handsome," and I was like, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous too." And we just started talking or whatever, and he was just like, "My name is," he likes to be called his. He said his name was Alexis, and I asked him what his pronouns were, and well, I did ask him what his pronouns were just to be polite, and he said that his names were he likes to be go by he she, which means that he doesn't mind the gay people say it to him and blah 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 blah. He doesn't matter to him. So
Oh,
I
so
was
he
having
like me.
yeah, exactly, like we be like girl girl, that kind of thing. So anyway, what ended up happening was I started talking to him about some of the issues, and I was like we were talking about the women being the trans women being in men's sports, and he said well he doesn't agree with it because the biological thing da 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 da. So the person that I'm with chimes in, and he's like, "Well, I don't think that's fair." And then me and the white boy was like, "Okay, so if a biological man that transitioned to a woman came up to you and you are EMT and they came up to you and said, 'I think I'm having a miscarriage.' Would you take that as real medical? How would you treat that person? Would you treat them for a miscarriage?" And he said, "Yes, I would." So everybody in the bar was looking at him like, "Oh, this nigga." So I was like, "Are you serious?" So then I was like, and then I looked at him. Now, mind you, we've been talking for 2 hours, having playing games and everything. He was just like, "Well, I consider myself transgender."
Okay.
I'm like, "You consider yourself transgender? What do you what?" I said, "Well, so I'm non-binary." Now, mind you,
Wait,
you
he considered himself transgender and
yes,
non-binary?
yes,
Because
Wow.
those are two different things.
yes, no,
Okay.
not according to
Okay.
him. Not according to him. But you see how crazy it can get. So I was just like, so you're trying to tell me that you consider yourself a female? He said, well, I don't consider myself male or female. So then the white boy comes in, and he was just like, well, I don't understand. You're presenting as a man, and Bryson has been, because he know my name. He was like, Bryson has been saying he, and what do you think? And he's been calling you by name. You ain't say nothing about it. And the white boy said, well, I just think that you're just saying that. White boy was bold. He was bold. He was like, I just think that you're saying that to make an argument. And he was just like, no, now he got all buck. Now he his not. So the white boy says, but I guarantee you, now this is gonna be a little vulgar, but it was true, and we had a couple drinks. And he said, well, I guarantee you, when you trying to get your nut, I guarantee you're binary then.
So let me ask you this though. You didn't answer the question. Are you okay
I
with
got it.
Elon doing the
Took me
invite
a
for the
minute to
bully and
land.
Bryson?
I think that at the end of the day, to speak on it, at the end of the day, I think that your gender identity is an individual thing, and you cannot, that is your reality. Just like they say that you are born a certain, just like Tia. I've only known Tia as Tia. I'm not going to call Tia anything else but Tia. I'm going to
Right.
respect Tia as Tia, and that's just the way that it is. I'm not going to probe and to figure out what her name is, even if I
Or her
found.
pronouns. I mean, Tia presents herself as
Yeah, a
Tia.
she.
And
Right.
that's what I'm going to stick with.
Right, exactly. And I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, I mean, if you hear me say she, you have to understand that everybody's not gonna be like, okay, if I may be at the bar or I'm saying, well, she will like, and you're gonna come across and say, I'm not she with a whole wig on
Yeah.
and makeup and be like, I'm they. People gonna be like, yeah,
And
what?
titties. Yeah,
Right,
you know,
right. So at the same
Take the
time, you
sign
have to
down.
you have to
take
realize
the
that
side
everybody,
down.
right. You have to realize that everybody is not going to be in your, and you have to accept the fact that everybody is not going to be within your reality. Your reality is your reality. I will respect you whatever you want to be called or whatever I see, but you're not going to tell me at the end of the day that I have to change or be bullied to tape to just because, just like perfect example, there was something else, and I'm ended at this. Just like there was a thing where a woman said she was having a conversation with a trans man, and the trans man was like, "Okay, well, you're a cisgender woman." The woman said, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't like to be called a cisgender woman. Please don't call me a cisgender woman. Just call me a woman." I saw it on Twitter. She called him a transphobic bigot just
Mm.
because she didn't want to be called a
Yeah.
cisgender woman. So how is it that we have to be forced to call you what you want to be called, but when women or men want to be called what they are, now you're trying to call us, but trans women want to be called, or trans men want to be called men and women,
Mhm.
but now trans women and trans men have to be called men and women, but biological, you know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense and it's not fair.
Can we substitute the they and them? It sounds very demonic.
Right, good
I,
money.
I would
It does sound
agree.
like two people.
I would agree.
I mean, you're a singular person. I mean, we're I
So
feel so
Jamie,
sorry for the next generation. I really do. It
Jamie,
kind of
what?
fucks
So
up in the
why do
world.
they go by they and them? Do you know why people go by they and them? Like
It's
they see
it's
Because
you are.
isn't that non-binary?
Yeah, which
it's
doesn't make sense. I
it
don't think it exists.
it
I don't think it's real.
it 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 is along the lines of non-binary, and so that's just from my experience. A lot of less melanated people go by they and them.
Yes.
I Jamie have not met a person of African diaspora who goes by they and them.
And yeah,
It's
that's
just
true.
my experience. It's always the less melanated counterparts who have like a buzz cut that presents as one, but then
They want to be called they.
introduces
Something else.
themselves as they them.
And also, I feel,
But I mean, to each their own.
but I feel like also at the
But
same
that's
time,
why.
I feel like also at the same time, Jamie, it's like they keep making these. Okay, before we called it people that were non-binary, we called them androgynous. Like
Exactly.
somebody,
I feel like
now,
androgyny is something different.
how is that different? Or
I feel
bisexual,
like for
or
me, I feel like androgyny is more of a style or a presence. And
oh, okay.
again, when we talk about pronouns, that's how you show up.
Hmm.
And that's why I refuse to have the conversation about gender identity and sex and presentation, because I can talk about that all day, but it's it's easier for me because that's what I study, you
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
I also know the realization of we live in a world to where everybody doesn't study that, so it's not as tangible for people.
Can I have you? And this is my last question. I'm going to move on, Gray, because I look this come across my timeline a lot because I do speak about these things. Dylan Mulvaney. Has anybody heard of him?
Let's not
Ain't
speak
that
of.
the ain't that the white boy?
No,
Yes,
no. Who is he?
Dylan Mulvaney started his life off as a gay male. I'm sorry, Dante, but we got to talk about this because he just said something. He announced something on Twitter yesterday that was disturbing to me, which makes it feel
Oh
like
no, I know where you're going with Bryson.
exactly,
This is
which
why
is
our community is all
disrespect.
fucked up right now.
Exactly, this is the reason why, because it's a game and
It is a game.
it's
So can you
disrespect
make it
people.
real short, Bryce? Because we got to move on.
Yeah, okay. So basically, Dylan Mulvaney is the person that he started off as gay. He said that he
Hmm.
was a gay man. Then he came out and said that he was non-binary. So
Okay.
then, then he started dressing up as a woman, and then he did this campaign where he said that he was transitioning to a woman, and he was on his
Yes, I know him. I didn't know his name.
he's on Bud Light. Now
Oh
he's
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Now
yeah.
he's saying he did his 365, got his sponsorship deals, and shut down Budweiser and everybody else of that nature. And now he's saying that he's now a woman. Now, just yesterday, he comes out and says, "I'm a lesbian." Hold on, that's not the end. His parents tried to accept it, and then guess what he said? He says, "Well, I hope to have." His father says, "Well, good. I would love to see you get a woman pregnant one day to have some children." And Dante, what he say? No, 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 father. I want the woman to get me pregnant.
That's just
Tia, please.
confusion. He needs to go to somebody's
That's
altar and
more.
get set
That,
free
yeah,
in
see,
his
that's
That's
mind.
see,
more.
yeah, yeah. But
Try
That's
to
if he
good
put
to
was
me
know.
up
I
black
need
under
to go
though,
research
foolishness.
if he
that.
was black though, he wouldn't be allowed to make a mockery of this like that, especially on a national stage like this. Like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now because Budweiser lost so much money they
and
put
still
behind.
losing
And
money.
Target.
Really, yeah. Well, we
Wait, he
talked
got
about
them
that last
folks for
week.
money?
Oh yeah, because they gave him a campaign, Budweiser. Was it Bud Light or
Let me
Bud
Budweiser?
do.
Light.
Budweiser,
Bud Light.
Hold
Target,
on.
Nike, all of them.
Let me about. I'm about.
Yeah, and
Listen. If you see
Kid
me
Kid
doing a
Rock,
campaign,
a
mind your
lot of
business.
people stopped buying it. But yeah, like he wouldn't be able to do that if he was black, just like
Go
gender.
sit
What's her
down.
name?
Goodbye. You acting up. Go sit
Caitlyn.
down.
Caitlyn Jenner,
He wouldn't be able to
and
do it.
that's a disrespect to people that are true, that go through true identities like Tia, because
But you
Mm.
now
know what?
people don't take it
Honestly,
serious.
right, Bryce, and that's where I'm about to go with. That's why a lot of people cannot take this serious because people, and I'm not saying this with any disrespect. Some people are just waking up saying, "I want to be this,"
Right,
and there are
right.
some people who actually there's a belief that they know, okay, this is who I am and this is who I want to be. Some people are like, oh, Monday I'm this, Tuesday I'm that, Wednesday I'm this, Thursday I'm that. Okay, Friday I'm going to go back to what I was on Monday. Saturday I want to be Monday and Tuesday. Sunday I want to be Monday through Friday. It does not work like that. That
It
makes no
doesn't work
sense.
Right,
like that.
And
right,
anybody who's lying to you, telling you that it makes sense, they're lying to you. I mean, it's just
right.
that
And
simple.
they're
And
real
can we go
people
back
with
to the basic stuff of gay,
right.
straight, bi?
And it's real people with gender dysphoria that are really struggling with it and trying to really learn it, and they're getting lost in the scope because they don't know what to believe. And if honestly, and this is no disrespect to you, Tia, but everybody, and I'm gonna leave it at this, and I want everybody to look this up. Look up John Money. Has anybody heard of John Money?
Who is that?
Please. John Money is the psychiatrist that started this back early in 19. I think it was like 1938. He started it where there were two boys, where one penis came with two twins, and one penis came out mutilated, and he didn't know, and the parents didn't know what to do. So the psychologist, he believed in this theory of boys. There's no such thing. He had this thing in his head, and he convinced the parents to make this boy, the biological boy, a girl, and make as a young child and make him a girl. And he believed that he was everybody was telling him he was a girl the whole
Didn't
time.
Chad come back and regret that?
Oh yes, he did. Oh yes, he did.
Yeah.
That what ended up happening was his vaginal canal closed up by the time he was 13. He
Mm.
realized that he was a boy, and he could not accept the fact that his femininity, and was still trying to know he was still trying to be a boy, but with this vaginal canal that closed up, and now he no longer was able to have any intercourse or anything because they cut everything off. He ended up killing himself, and then his brother could not
What?
take. Yes, it's a documentary, and then his twin brother, could not deal with the fact that his parents did that to him because he was trying to detransition. The boy that was trying to detransition to go back to a boy, he couldn't deal with it, and he committed suicide. And there's lots of people that are detransitioning that regret it because a lot of girls that have went to at a younger age. I'm not talking about in their 20s and
And then
30s.
also too, they didn't go to a professional either. Though that's the
Yes,
problem too.
yes, and they don't realize how much once you get that sex reassignment surgery, they have to keep massaging that vaginal canal or to close up. It'll
Yeah,
close
or you
up.
have to,
That's
walk around
why.
with a dildo, to keep it
Mm.
open.
Wait, what?
Hmm.
Say that again.
Oh,
Yes, once, see, trans women go through two surgeries. One
Mm.
surgery is for the testicles, the other one is to construct
Oh, you
a
just made me grab
vagina.
my stuff. That sounds
Is it all at one time, Tia, or you have to go back?
no, you constantly got to do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta go back.
it's a few surgeries depending on your body. And
Mhm.
so it's like Yeah, and so if you want, because some people they don't want a canal, they
Which
just
is the
want the
hole. The
lips.
canal is the hole that if when you have
Yes.
sex, that it would.
Right. But
Okay.
Mhm.
if you do want the canal, they don't call it a dildo, but that's basically what
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
a dildo. And you have to, there's like maybe 3 to 6 hours a day sit with that inside of you because if you
Oh,
don't,
Jesus.
it will
Yes. They
close.
So let
split.
me
They
ask y'all
split.
this though. What happened to remember when I first learned about trans women and stuff like that? I thought it was a process you have to go through, like to a psychology, a therapist, and all that stuff.
But
Is
it's
that
covered by the
still a
government
thing?
now. It's covered by the
You used
government.
to could. You used to
But
could.
it's not mandatory
Especially
anymore.
when I got my M changed to F,
Hmm.
from birth certificate to license, I did have to have a letter signed by a
How long was the
psychologist.
process?
However, now
Right.
it's really easy. It's really easy now because now it's like a one-stop shop thing. Like when you get your
Wow.
name changed, they have the lawyers ready. They have the psychologists ready.
And Tia,
You don't even see
don't
anything. You just see, I mean, you
But
know it's done
but
when you
that's a
get the letter.
but I thought you had to see a psychologist for a period of
no.
time,
They
not
have
just at one time.
no. They have reaffirming and please. And this is what they trans people. Excuse me. I don't mean this in any offense, Tia, because I think
No,
you are
no,
beautiful.
no.
This is what they don't talk about. And this is what
Mhm.
taxpayer get mad about because now it's covered. You can go to a psychologist and say, "I believe that I am a female," and they have insurances where they can go get titties and ass and reaffirming.
My
It's
insurance
covered.
in August is paying. I'm getting my titties bigger. My
Exactly.
insurance is paying for it. It's
Okay.
Congrats.
and they would pay for my bottom surgery as well.
But you can also
But
understand why people would feel some kind of way.
Yeah, if they tax dollar going to that,
Yes,
that's
if
just an
that's
economic thing. I don't
So
think it has
but
I
a
also our tax dollars are going to Viagra.
okay.
that's true.
I'm fair across the board. I think it
I,
shouldn't go
I
towards none of that. Period. Like
I'm
yeah,
just
not the
period. I
saying.
don't think we should
extracurricular
pay for that
stuff.
either. If
Greg,
your
what
dick
I
don't
feel
work, that's
like
your problem.
Man, our tax
I
dollars need to build up our
Greg
military.
Greg, what I feel like you were oh, excuse me. What I feel like you
Lubricate.
were speaking to, it's the Ciroc. What I feel like you were speaking to was um a while back, not even that long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. People who were of trans experience,
Mhm.
it was you had to go see a behavioral therapist
Yeah,
to
what
make
happened to
sure,
that
like,
though?
you know, I'm not sure.
It's been
I'm not sure.
politicized now.
But you had to go see a behavioral therapist to make sure
This
you
is
were
yeah.
ready to experience this. You did have to go see a psychologist to make sure your body can respond and be able to take on medication if that's what you do. Because all trans all trans
Don't want to go
people
through that.
Right.
don't take on medication. And so like there were steps in place. Now I've just learned just now, Tia said that's you don't have to do that anymore. And
I
I
can
think that's
tell though.
great.
I can tell
But
because it's
I
so
do
many of 'em
think
popping up. It's so many of 'em, like
I
so
do
many of
think
'em.
it's
So I can
I
tell.
do think it's great, like because it's a one stop shop. But I also do feel like, in the case of what Bryson brought up about the siblings, I do think it's beneficial for that reason, because we
Hmm.
need to make sure that mentally, you know, if this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. But also realize when you do this, it's a this,
No
right? I
way.
mean, of course, I would think. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that.
Well,
Just
well,
But
imagine, Jamie.
the word tells us in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And
mm-hmm.
I believe that a lot of people
I love
are
Tia.
planted in the wrong soil.
Mm-hmm.
You're
She
not
about to make
planted
me
in the
run.
soil of people who say, hey, I support your decision, but you do know this is
Uh-huh.
final. Or
Right,
you
and
do
also
know you got to check and balance everything
but
before
also,
you make
Tia,
this decision.
let's also speak, if we're going to talk about the soil, and this is what other people are talking about. We also need to be planted in the soil of truth. If we keep allowing our children to believe that they can wake up and be girls and they can be boys outside of the gender that they were assigned, outside of their biological, and we keep enforcing that, then there's going to be constant. And the reason why I get so passionate about this, and I think about this because I'm trying to protect my nephew. My nephew
Mm,
came to me. He's 11 years old, and he came to me. Well, this is my god nephew,
mm.
and he came to me, and my god sister could not help him with his homework. So I was like, okay, we got on FaceTime, and he sent me his curriculum and sent me, and it was like, okay. they were sending him gender conforming. Literally, that was the lesson. Gender identity conforming. And it was just like, are you what are boys and girls born with X, Y, and it said, are you sure that you're a boy? He asked me at 11 years old, what wasn't this is in South Carolina.
Wow, that's
Oh
surprising.
Yes,
no,
yes, this is
that's not.
happening for
I
real.
don't think that's surprising.
Like
I
it's
feel
just it's
like
just not fair. It's just not cool. Like why can't I was watching Transformers the other day and they were like Transformers I used to they didn't talk about sex at all. They just was out there fighting crime and
Fine, yep.
fighting people and then you're
Hmm.
gonna say, "Hi, what's your name?" My name is Susie. I'm non-binary. What are you? Like what the hell?
You know,
I
I'll
think.
say
Hold on. Let me go ahead, Dante,
no,
because
no.
he
Go ahead, for
hasn't
Jamie.
spoken. I feel like I,
The
I feel
devil is
like I
taking
might be the.
over
I feel
the
like I
kingdom
might be
of this
the.
world.
I feel like I might be the black sheep a little bit.
It's okay. I'm used to
Right
it.
now, and that's and I don't mind standing on my, because listen, I'm a tough girl.
I will send all these clips, Jamie. I
But
will send all the clips.
I feel like I feel like when we have this conversation, and it pains me, but I feel like when we have this conversation, and I may ruffle a couple feathers, but it is like se- sex and gender identity are two different things, right?
Hmm.
And
We
I feel
agree.
like a lot of blurred lines come in, and a lot of blurred lines come in where we mix the two or confuse the two.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's the the gist of it. Um,
But I
because
think we
I
only
might.
confuse it. I only feel like we only confuse it when we
Bryson,
say,
let him finish because we got to get and
I'm
go.
sorry.
Let him finish.
And I no, I feel like that's the gist of it, right? And I feel like if I present as one, and I love what Tia said, like if it's not for sale, take the sign down. But and I feel like, and I might have to put that in my toolbox to teach another gender identity course
Baby, that's gonna be in my book.
outside of an organization, because I'm gonna still get my coin. And I feel like that needs to be taught, and I feel like that needs to be
Yeah, it
shared.
is.
But I also feel like we should not be. I feel like we should not be. Um, I feel like we need to be wise when we teach these lessons. I feel like children
You said the
need to.
children?
Agreed.
Yeah, I feel like we need to be. I feel like we need to be wise when we teach these lessons. I feel like children need to express the world as children, right?
Okay, okay.
I don't feel like it needs
You
to
had me
be a
worried
this
there,
or that.
Jamie.
Hmm?
Go ahead,
That,
Dante. I know
You
you
had me
got
worried,
something.
Jamie, when you said teach the children. But
yeah, you
No,
have me
no, no.
worried too,
Oh, did I say
Dante.
that? Oh, if I said that, sorry, that
oh
sounded
no, no,
funny.
you clarified it, but you
Yeah,
did.
you
Okay.
Yeah,
clarified it.
you
I feel like
clarified.
children need to experience the world as
It's
children.
just
I don't
children.
feel like we
We
need
should be
to
talking
push.
about sex period with children. I feel
I feel
period.
like children need to
They are
experience the
Not
world
even
as just
identity.
I did.
no,
Yeah,
as children.
as children.
Bryson, when you said that, like that was in the curriculum of all things, and I'm a curriculum person. Like I write curriculum. I feel like that was extremely unfair. I feel like that was,
Yeah.
um, you
Very
know,
inappropriate.
I
Can
feel
I
like
can I
somebody
share
should have
something?
took it to court
Can I
Mm-hmm.
and
share
got a
something? I
coin.
just want to share something really. Just I just want to share my
Hmm.
screen really fast, just really fast, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna share. I'm gonna pull
And then we're
down.
gonna go to Dante.
Yeah, then we're gonna go to Dante. Um, Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna go that far. It's a book called because I don't know if I want my tabs to show up. It's a book
Child.
that have been in the libraries they
Mm-hmm.
are imported in the library. It's called Gender Queer or Memoir, and it's showing in Dante. Have you heard of this book?
I've heard of all these ridiculous things.
Yes, there's a book. There are books that are showing gender queer and they're showing different things and showing they were talking about how a woman's clitoris gets wet,
What?
how yes, how
But so, is it in a
they
school or in a library?
no,
Or
it's in a library and they are it's in a library for students to check out.
but how old is these students?
They are in it's their grade school up to 12th grade.
Okay, so you feel like that's still inappropriate.
They're telling people what gay people do and help them how gay people suck dick.
Oh
No,
no, no,
am I wrong,
no,
Dante?
no,
Am I wrong,
no. That's
Dante?
crazy.
I've
That's a
I've already on the first episode. I've read
Yes,
yeah.
I've
it's
read
in the
some transcript
libraries.
That's
just to
wild.
bring the
This is
audience up to date with what some of these authors are putting in their books. Which
yes,
I'm not saying they should not write these books. I just think certain books should
Shouldn't
not be
yeah.
for
I
grade
think
school,
school should
and
be
if
told
anything,
about
it should be for
education.
seniors. But a parent needs to sign off and know exactly
and
what
Exactly.
their
period.
child is
Exactly.
reading,
Thank
I,
you.
I
because
I
we
think that
cannot let our community. There are some sick people in this world, and we cannot
Yes.
let those sick people take
Yes,
control of our community. We
and we're
can't.
not saying that we're not. I'm not saying I want people to understand that people that might hear this or misunderstand what Gregory is saying or any of us say. I'm not trying to say that gay people are sick. I'm just trying to say that our brains as we're growing, we're still developing and finding out who we are and still trying to figure out who we are. And I think that we just need to learn that the basics of understanding how to go about this world instead of learning about sexuality. We'll learn that and learn about what that was. We I remember when they did it. Well, when I was in school and they showed us how to put on a condom. My mother, all the parents had an uproar just to show the men how to put on the goddamn condom.
yeah.
So but we weren't.
No, to bring it in, I don't think I'm glad you clarified that. I think what we're saying in general is like a child shouldn't be experienced this type of stuff, period.
Right.
You can write those type of books, and as a grown up, if you want to indulge in that type of activity, that's up on you.
Yes.
But when it comes down to education and school environment, let's just take all of that type of stuff out. But if you
Absolutely.
have extra curriculum program and that parent sign off, that's up to that parent.
Period.
But in general, it should be about education. It should be just about that child
Science.
being a child. So let's take all the sex stuff out. When it come down to the gay stuff and the straight stuff, however we want to identify. Let's just take all of it out.
What we
And
need to
let
be
the
teaching
child
our
go
children is how we can advance American AI
right.
and compete with China and stop worrying about all these
Right.
Twitter
And
pronouns
we also need to be teaching our children about politics and learning how to vote right
Hmm.
the right people in to make sure that we get the people that are not going to have these documentate. What's the word, Dante? I know you know the big word.
indoctrination.
Yeah,
Indoctrination.
into these schools because and people we need to get like you said in the beginning when I was first there we really do need to learn especially and focus on getting these. We're so focused on parties and liquors and our next pool party and everything of that nature,
Yeah,
but
that's not important for this
we
month.
yes, we need to focus on we need to focus on legislation and realize we got woke up 2 years ago when we realized that it took us that on the Senate or whatever party that we needed to do, but we need to realize that midterms are really important
Hmm.
and
Wait,
because there are
hold on.
people.
Nobody wanted Herschel Walker, so there we go. Even
Yeah,
Republicans didn't want
nobody.
him. Okay,
So on that note, here though, we're gonna give you since you're the only
Thank
one.
God.
We're gonna give you the final thought to close this topic out in terms of the pronouns, like in final thoughts about the pronouns. Tia.
I think that I think that you, um,
Oh,
I'm gonna
oh,
give y'all
girl.
another
Oh,
one.
girl.
Don't do you on me.
Mm.
When I say that,
Mm,
I'm saying I may not know. I may truly be ignorant. I have a friend. She's
Mhm.
actually watching from Pine Bluff, Arkansas,
Oh
Hey,
wow.
Arkansas.
who really didn't even know what like trans was. Like
Trans, yep.
she's
Hmm.
63.
oh,
And so she asked me a lot of things and because she just doesn't know.
did she meet you as
Now,
Tia?
I yes, yes. And so
Okay.
it's like we've got to get to a place to where it's like not to demonize people for
Because
not
they don't know.
if they see something and they call you something, no fight needs to happen.
Hmm.
No, nothing. Correct them, and if they keep doing it, then take it to another level. But I don't think you can like demonize people. If you're, that's why I get on my trans sisters. If you want to, I think that was T.S. Madison that said, "Step your pussy up." If you
Mm-mm.
can't go with a
She sure
full
did.
beard
Hmm.
and
Expect to be called she.
brick as a warehouse and want to be called she, that's a blocker. I mean, in the perfect world, maybe on Mars they'll call you what you want, but here that people are they're gonna say what they see.
See, yep.
And so if you want that, give. Do your best to
What's Saucy
to
Santana's
give that
pronoun?
look.
Huh?
What's Saucy Santana
See,
pronoun?
I don't know,
It's
child.
called I don't know.
Okay, then on that note, guys, we're gonna move on
Oh,
to our
but let me go back to what you said
okay.
last week, real quick, Greg.
Mhm,
You said something last week, and I don't know if I agree with it or not. I don't think I know I didn't agree with it to the extent what you were going, but
mhm.
I do see because of this conversation to kind of retract what I said.
Okay,
I
what was
think
that?
that you have to go with like facts. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Mhm.
I'm a trans woman. I can my I tell people my ovaries are testicles. I cannot have kids.
Okay.
I mean,
It's the like.
Dante, can I be real?
Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, baby. Go
You
ahead.
I
you, you
love
got
it.
to be
Let
real.
it
And when you
out.
go
Let
Yeah,
it
with those
out.
me.
facts, you can't go off into all of this kind of stuff and make everybody else do you on everybody. Like you got to accept my foolishness, or I'm gonna shut your company down, or I'm a,
Right,
you
that part.
know,
Right.
They come for your money,
you
honey.
can't do that. There are certain things, just like the women. I remember when tampon, they were under scrutiny because they on the box it said a feminine
They
hygiene
took
product.
female off,
Then the
right?
trans men were like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
women aren't the only ones who use tampons. Men do too.
Yep.
Oh man, I
Y'all,
mean you
you
tampons.
Remember I
there
told you
has
about
to
that,
be
Greg?
Yeah, I do
a
remember that.
standard. There
Isn't that
has to
crazy,
be a
Tia?
standard.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That is crazy. There has to
You
be
know
a
it's crazy,
standard
even if it's
and it
trans mama
has to
say it's
be
crazy.
ordered.
Yeah, it has to be some kind of like, hey, I think, and this is why I appreciate women like Tia and Misha that will be able to be like, hey, some things are just like y'all going too far now. Like we
Mm,
know damn well
It's too
that
much.
it's like you just trying to bully people into like that these women have 7 hours for a reason, okay? And if you want to be included in that, women have been courteous enough to allow you into their spaces, but now don't try to take them over and try to recreate the narrative of what a woman is just because you don't have the same kind of you have
See, that's
different kind of
doing you
restrictions,
on
right?
on
everybody
somebody.
else.
Yeah, I love
Exactly.
that. I love that. That's you perfect said it. Yep.
Greg,
Okay.
what's the next topic?
So the next topic, guys, because we had another, but we're gonna move on to the last one only because we behind. So we're gonna do a recap
Oh
on the
Jesus,
real life
Woo!
and music
girl,
reunion. So Bryson,
You
can
know,
you
I should have been on this,
you
but
should have been here,
I'm gonna
honey.
let y'all slide. Maybe next season I'll get on it.
Are we
OMG?
currently casting?
You said what?
This
Tia,
season was
go
a
ahead and submit
lot.
your
Go
application, honey.
ahead, go ahead, please.
So yeah, so I want to recap with so last night we filmed a real life and music reunion and it was wow.
Explosive,
It was a lot going on.
yeah,
It was a lot. We was there I got there by 5. I didn't leave to by 2:30 in
yeah.
the morning.
Greg cussed me out like 8 times. He embarrassed me so many times,
Lord.
child.
I done cussed a couple of y'all out
Bryson,
last
you
night.
embarrassed a lot of people on camera, honey. So I'm sure
I
that
did, I
Oh,
did
Dante,
because
No,
were you on there, Dante?
no, I'm not. I'm not on there. But one thing I will say about the real life and music, shout out to Ty, Rebel, Vo, Bryson. Y'all doing good.
yeah, it was
okay.
explosive. Bryson was eating. Everybody came. Everybody had a moment in terms of like
They
everybody had
tried.
their moment.
Hmm.
Jamie, how was it for you though? Because I think you had went off a couple of times too.
Hmm.
Oh,
You was producing the show with the talent, and it was just it was like it was crazy. We had to just wrap it up, but it
I
was going nowhere.
I feel like we got a lot of talent, a lot of great discussions. I feel like we definitely got into some things. I feel like it was a great overall reunion. I
Yeah,
think for me,
entertainment
where
wise,
I
it was
got
really good.
frustrated was I'm very business minded when it comes to we got this much of time to do this, to
Yeah,
talk about this, to
because
do
you had
talk
that
about
5
this.
minutes and 3
He
minutes
had
on
that
the
board up,
board.
honey.
Like I'm very because I'm working on something aside
Hmm.
from this, so I'm very conscious of we gonna be here till this. We
This
got this
much.
much
Got
time,
you. Got
and
you.
Right.
we gotta break it down. We gotta get to the meat and potatoes
Wait,
about this, and
hold
this.
And
on,
I
Jamie.
will say, this.
Jamie,
I will
wait,
say this.
Bryson, is
Go
this you
ahead.
in the hat?
Yeah.
Of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Bryson, is that you in the hat?
Hmm.
Serving.
Bryson, it's been some years, but you know me very well. I used to play for Tabernacle and Direct.
What?
Oh,
I
we
used to
got a
pay
reunion
for.
back here on the show.
Wait. What happened? Where back? What year?
Oh, this was what, 15, 16, 17,
And used to pay.
a
Used to
little
play.
bit of 18. Play
So
the
you said,
piano and direct, and
and I
we
came to
know
the
each other
church.
very well.
Okay, well, you have to
Yes, matter of
DM
fact,
me.
Yeah. So y'all have to DM because
we have pictures together and everything. Now the only thing is, mother, I
Yeah,
started
you're different
transitioning
now.
medically, so a
So
lot of people they don't. Yeah, my
they don't
look
be
has
noticing.
changed
I
since
will
then.
say this.
Praise the Lord.
I appreciate that too, and we're gonna talk about that. I will say this that
Absolutely.
the reunion it was like Jamie. And that's one thing I will say about Jamie, and that's the really reason. The only reason when Gregory when you was screaming at me. When he was like, "Shut the fuck up," and I looked at that board and it said, "Oh, 2 minutes." Also, that's the reason why he said it because Jamie had that board up. That said, "We got to wrap it up," and I realized I was just
Well,
going
Greg, can I ask Bryson questions since he was on the show?
Yeah.
Bryson, who did you have the issue with the most?
a
Child.
Rebel. I had an
Let's
issue
get
with
this interesting.
I had an issue with Rebel. I had an issue with Ty. I had an issue with Bo. I had an
Damn,
issue with
everybody else shouted out.
Yeah, but no, you and Christy got into it a little bit. You and Karma
yeah,
got into it a little bit.
yeah.
You
I
got
got
to
an
it.
issue with everybody.
Yeah, Bryson is not biased when it comes
I
down
feel
to
like everybody got they got they lick in,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
to speak, last night.
yeah.
I got the most
Verbally.
licks in, but verbally, I will say that the reunion, I feel like we could have addressed a little bit more issues, but
Like what?
I feel like we could have talked to I told the nigga I was gonna piss in his mouth. We could have talked about that.
Wait, who exactly you're gonna tell?
Rebel.
Oh,
It haven't came out on the show yet.
Yeah,
Bryson,
I was gonna say it
you'll
yet.
see it in the next episode. Bryson
Yeah.
tell Rebel that he's gonna piss in his mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, I told him I was gonna. I felt like we should have talked about how the girls were bullying Karma, and the reason this episode that just recently aired about the sneak peek that just came out about the reason why I was so upset at Karma because I was letting Karma know that they were bullying her ass. And that's the reason why I was so upset at her. I wasn't coming to her just because I'm like, oh, you should have came to me because I was a singer. No, because I realized what they were saying about her in the beginning, and she went over there, flocked to them, but they were talking about her and they were plotting
About her
against her.
music.
Yes, the whole time,
Yeah.
and she didn't realize it, and I kept trying to tell her, but she didn't want to realize it because she kept thinking they was the it girls. But at the end of the day, the reunion was the reunion was tea. But the one thing
It was
that's one
tea.
thing. Yeah, the one thing that's about it was the rest of y'all will see the rest of the girls. It's one thing about me. My mouth is vicious. It's very
yeah, he won't
fast,
stop. He
and
wouldn't stop.
I will read you down. I will give you what you need to do. And I was not because I came into the season trying to be
Can I
everybody's
say this?
friend. I came into the season trying to be everybody's friend and trying to be nice and trying to let everybody and trying to be the educated because I was the oldest one. But I saw the confessionals and the girl was trying to read me down. So now it's all holds off bars. Now, bitch, it's gonna
can
be
we
before
change
people
that
go
color
back.
background to red?
I
It
got.
will probably give more
I
spice to this.
I have two thoughts. Right. I'm gonna start with the recent one. Bryson, no tea, no shade. You read down last night when it came to education and like how music is broken down into the
Thank you.
studio and stuff like that, and like you were given like out gems, and it was conveyed so simple to the fact that I know shit about music,
Hmm.
but you conveyed it to where I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Also, a lot of people was contradicting themselves last night.
Yes, it was.
But
I
I didn't
didn't
want to
know
say nothing
this.
last night. Oh, I didn't
Like
want to say
who?
nothing
Like
last
who,
night.
Jamie?
They
I'm not gonna go
rebel
into that because
pie.
then I don't want to follow up. But a lot of people it was from a producer's from a producer's ears. I can also attest to like being on the couch because I've been on the couch a few times. So when you're in it, um, you can miss some stuff. But when
Yeah.
you're watching it, like from behind the
In
camera.
real
It's like,
life, yeah,
but didn't you just say this?
yeah.
But then when we go ask
I will
another
say it for you.
question,
I will
it
say
was
it for
just
I will say
go
for you,
ahead.
Jamie. It was a couple. It was a couple girls. I'm not gonna. You gotta have to watch the season, Dante. Just to watch it when it come
Couple
out. But
girls.
what I will say about this is, it was people on one. It was a lot of things that people said in their confessionals, and it was a lot of things that they started to get caught up in, then try to like piggyback on and try to buckle back on, and everybody was like, that don't make sense. So it's a lot of people that were basically how this went was everybody was shading, even the friends that the friends was everybody was shading everybody, it felt
I,
like.
I,
Yeah.
and
not
and
yeah.
yeah, and then all of a sudden when the confessionals come out, and then they trying to save their relationship, they're like, oh my god, I didn't mean it like that. I did. It was one example, and I'm going to mention this is because it was on the after show, and Gregory hope this is okay.
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 There was one instance where Bo had
Oh
said,
yeah, yeah, that's
yes,
out.
Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna show it in the edit, but Bo had said in the beginning of the season when Todd was trying to come for me and say that my music was trash and all the blah 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 blah, Bo had said to him on camera that he can't touch me lyrically, he
Mm.
can't
Oh
touch me
yeah, yeah.
production, and he can't touch me as voice
That was the
quality.
first episode
Yes, but
or
but but then
second.
but Jamie, when they played it back all the time, only thing he kept trying to overtalk Gregory because he didn't want Gregory to go back and say that no, bitch, that's not what you said.
No, he
You
cut
said it.
him off. He cut Gregory off,
Yes,
and
he
he
kept
said we're
cutting
not
off
gonna talk about
because he
that.
didn't want Ty to hear. He didn't want Ty to hear. And when Ty came in that sorry ass, because and y'all may think that that wig was eaten, but bitch, I was right next to him and I saw that wig. I saw that wig.
Hey, let's move on.
I saw that wig.
That,
Baby, that got to be glue was not got to be gluing.
Y'all been about
Bryce,
that
you got to
wig.
stop. You got to stop, Bryce. And them.
I'm just saying. Because
The
I
way,
didn't get an opportunity to. I understand that I was a lot.
Bryce, you don't realize all the stuff you said to them people last night. We was
Well,
filming for
no.
6 hours.
Let me
I
say
Five
this.
to
understood.
six
Let me
hours.
say
That's why I
this.
was
Let me
quiet.
say
When you
this.
yelled
Let
at
me
me,
say this.
Gregory, that's why I was
Let me say
quiet.
this. Let me say this. I will say this, right? If when you go back and watch the footage, Bryson at the beginning was it was
Quiet.
he was letting them have it, and
Hmm.
I feel like what I think Bryson did was like when they got here, he was like, all right, bitch, I've had it, and now when he's at that peak, and I'm not saying that because he's my friend, but I also know my friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When he'll let some stuff slide, but also when he's there, bitches, it's up.
It's up.
He from
And then
Jersey,
we also had a walk.
and
We had a
it's gonna
couple of
expose.
walkout last night too, though. So which y'all
We
will get to
Right.
see
did,
at the reunion.
It it
Some
it,
we
it,
people,
it wasn't.
did.
some people couldn't take the heat, so
Yeah,
they had,
a lot of people
Is
walked
that
out
what
and
it
said they were
was?
gonna. No, because Rebel walked out and went
Brother
girl
walked
went
out
with
that
Ken.
way.
Bryson.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say.
Well, hold on.
We did have
Let's
a
take
couple.
another avenue to this. Bryson, what do you have to say positive about people, your castmates?
Right.
Um, I will say
Pick
that
your own words.
in my own words, I will. You want me to go to each one because I can go through each one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
do
want you
each
to.
one. We got to get final thoughts and
Okay,
close
I will
out.
do
Oh,
this
one
very
word
quick.
for each person, Bryson. Then.
Okay, no, I'm not maybe
One
not give one
positive
word, but
word,
I will just give my rundown and I will give it very quickly.
please.
I'm gonna go Ty.
Positive.
I'm gonna go Ty. I'm glad that Ty decided that he put a new wig on. But I just wish he would have put a new wig on. He would have put some new glue on. I'm glad that Rebel decided to take off those glasses, so people can see his cross eye and look like he was touched. And then also you have Bo, who was Bo. I'm glad that Bo tried to make a moment and spoke up at the end of the day because he really couldn't say anything, and that's why he was mad because he was the second introduced,
Oh
and
my
they had to
God,
get
Bryce.
walked out. But I'm glad that he
We
was at
said
least on camera.
positive.
That is positive. I'm
No,
glad that
it's
he
not.
got some shine. Now I'm gonna go to Lottie that was sitting next to me. I'm glad that Lottie was able to stand her ground and speak her ground because Lottie is probably out of that group that she was the most talented out of them. I'm glad that Karma was there and she looked beautiful. Karma did look
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and I didn't really understand Chrissy, because I really couldn't understand because she had the mask on. But I'm glad that Chrissy did have the availability to speak.
Okay. Fair
Uh,
enough.
I still stand on my shout out. Shout out to Bryson, Ty, Vo, and Robin.
Final thoughts, guys.
Okay.
I
Final
don't know where
thoughts,
you get
gentlemen.
Bo from. Bo was the only
Final
Final
thoughts
thoughts
from
about the
all
the
of you.
only
reunion.
time that Bo got camera time was when he mentioned me. So
Okay,
Final
fine.
final thoughts about the reunion.
No, final thoughts about tonight. Any final thoughts? Who about to close out? I
Okay.
gotta go to Bulldogs. So final thoughts.
Oh,
bitch, you
what
got to
Y'all
go to
day is
was
it? Is
Bulldogs.
it Thursday?
Yes.
It
It's
is
Thursday. No,
Thursday,
I'm
girl.
not going. I'm not going to catch y'all out there
I
no
think I
more.
might need to go.
Final
Well,
um
y'all
thoughts.
have fun.
final thoughts. I want to tell everybody in our community, especially the Black community, please get involved in politics. Get involved with your local government.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what's going on at your state capitals. Please participate in all elections, whether you consider them small or big. Get involved. Do some volunteer work. Please do not wait until it's 2024 when there's a presidential election. That's why a lot of times the Black community is always left behind.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Mhm.
Bryson, final thoughts.
I think this episode was great to talk about different experiences. I think that Tia, I appreciate it. It's my first time meeting you, and I think that I appreciate someone like you, and the other young lady that I do know, that will be able to really just speak to real experiences because Dante did. Am I saying that right? Dante.
Mm-hmm.
You really spoke to about what the reality of what it is. I'm not. I don't know you anybody else besides yourself, but I'm going to respect you as who you are, and I'm going to operate in the way that the sign says. If it says it's
Mm-hmm.
for sale, I realize that Tia is for sale. So that's the end of it. I appreciate Gregory for you didn't have to. This wasn't a panel that I didn't have to be a part of, but I do appreciate you bringing me to having me in the Pride Month. I do think I will be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The way that the community is going on the internet net right now, every month is Pride Month
Okay,
because
love it.
it's always something dealing with somebody with. But I think we need to culture ourselves and not make ourselves a mockery. We shouldn't
Mhm.
allow people to make a mockery of our sexuality or what we
I
worked
agree.
hard to not necessarily to be separate but just be proud of who we are.
I understand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. I don't think that we need to do a Pride Month and say, "Oh, I'm gay. I had to wear my pride flag." I don't think that you don't go around and say, "Hey, my name is Karen. I'm straight. What's your name?" Nobody does that. So we
Okay.
don't need to do that either. So I think that we just need to get out of Pride Month. There's no straight Harold month. And I don't think that everybody needs to participate in it. And
Okay,
I
Bryson.
believe Dante.
His final thoughts, not statement, honey. Let's wrap it on in, honey.
Okay, I do believe Dante too that we don't need to necessarily announce about our sexuality unless it's time we in the bedroom and we trying to get down.
I love it. All right.
Man,
Jamie, final
All
thoughts.
right. I have a couple things, and I'm gonna wrap. It's gonna be quick. I promise.
Okay.
I feel like tonight was great. Thank everybody for watching. I'm gonna do two plugs. Watch out for Real Life and Music every Wednesday, right here on YouTube. Listen, if you haven't been tuned in, please tune in because it's a shit show in the best way
uh,
possible. And then
how dare you?
also, Real Life and Philanthropy season 3 will be coming out very soon in the fall. So be on the lookout for that. Can I do one more plug? Like aside from
Mhm.
And
that,
Jamie
Yes,
acts
sir.
up. Jamie acts up, y'all. Jamie acts the fuck up on season
no, I
3.
don't. No, I
Yes, you
don't.
do. Yes, you
No, I don't.
do. Don't lie.
And so, last plug. I'm having my first annual under my nonprofit Hose and Hooties event. It's more
Hoes
of
and
a self
Hoochie.
care event. The weekend June 17th at 2.
Did he freeze?
Be free.
Yeah, I think he
I
I
think
freed,
it's
think he
free.
but
did.
It
oh,
was
here we
being
go.
good, wasn't it? We was
Okay.
good all night. Anyway, last but not least, they telling me to sit down. June 17th, Piedmont Park, 2 p.m. Hose and Hoochies
Hoes
event.
and
It's a
Hoochie.
it's it's a self care event. Don't let the name deter you. We're gonna have food, drinks, and good times, and just self healing activities. And we're gonna talk some shit. So,
Yeah.
that's it. I enjoyed being here. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you,
No,
Tia,
thank
for
you.
allowing me to know you and experience you for the first time. I felt in love, and that's it. Bryson, Dante, y'all know I love y'all.
All right.
Yeah,
Tia,
exactly. And make
Tia,
sure y'all
final
come to
thoughts,
that.
Tia.
Y'all make sure that y'all come to that
Hold on,
barbecue.
Bryce, it's Tia go.
Oh, I'm
Final
sorry. Go
thoughts.
ahead.
Okay, first off, just quick before I get my thought, I want to say thank you, Greg, for this opportunity. And thank you all for having me. And hopefully I'll bike again
Yeah,
next
definitely
week.
come by. We love
Um,
to. You be dropping it. You be giving us the good sayings, the 1-2s.
That's
and I'm
because
about to give
Tia
y'all
be on that
another one.
pulpit. That's
This
why.
this is the final thought tonight. And okay, so since we're in Pride Month, and I just want to speak this to the esteem of the
Mm,
LGBT plus community. Um,
Okay.
a water bottle in the grocery store is $1.
mm-hmm.
A water bottle in the same water bottle in the gym is $3. The same water bottle in the movie theater is $5.
$5 child.
The only thing that changed about the water bottle was the place it was sold in.
Mm.
If you ever get to a place in your life where you're at a place where you feel like you're worth nothing, maybe you're in the wrong place.
Oh God, that's good.
Okay, come on. I gotta write that one down too. That was cute.
Okay, guys. I thank first of all, let me thank the co-host for coming through. Tonight we missing Misha and Richard, so they'll be back soon. We got 2 more live shows, and then we'll be back in person. And then we also have some amazing things coming up the end of the year, guys. We got some big events coming up that we're going to be announcing soon. That Jamie working with me close on, which is going to be a big opportunity
Yeah.
for everyone. It's going to be the end of the year, so I'm so excited to announce that this month sometime. And I want to thank, of course, the cast of Real Life and Music for last night. Even though it was long and draining, I think when
It's
y'all watch
good.
it, it's gonna be entertaining from the pre-show all the way to the end when we had the wrap. So I want to thank you guys too. I want to
Right.
personally thank Bryson too for last night and coming on tonight to kind of do the recap. I
Thank
know
you, Bryson.
You're welcome. And listen, I want to thank Dante for you being a reasonable Republican child because I thought we was gonna go into war, honey.
Amen.
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 Right.
There's a white man.
Y'all
There's a white
Right.
usually
There's
man
a,
do.
there's
inside
a black
Dante. I don't
agree
care what y'all
girl.
say.
There was a black agreeable Republican. Oh my God,
But
girl.
y'all,
We
that
y'all
we
I
sent the
is
love
usually
you,
right.
contact.
Dante. I
y'all
really
So
usually
do.
be on the same note. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, me and me
yeah,
and me and me and Dante usually on the same note.
I want to thank you guys for that. Go, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you,
Of course,
Tia.
I'm sure we're gonna have Teal again with a couple of our co-hosts and
Thank
whoever else
y'all.
come through. So I'm excited. And then, of course, next Wednesday, a new episode of Real Life and Music. They go to New Orleans, and it's about to get crazy.
Oh, it's
From
gonna
New
That's
get
what I
Orleans all
crazy.
to
heard.
6 more
Yeah.
episodes, so it's gonna be
That's what
really
I
exciting.
heard.
Make sure that y'all straight if y'all want to see real premium entertainment and raw, authentic,
Premium
not fake.
entertainment.
I'm talking
Huh?
about premium, real, authentic entertainment. Bitches are really coming for like we are really like we. I think everybody
Premium
forgot the cameras
entertainment.
was. I think everybody forgot the cameras
Yeah,
was
New
there.
Orleans, it was
Yeah,
real.
it
New
was
Orleans was real.
y'all
It's
have not
giving
seen
97
what a
gas.
reality show is until y'all seen the second part of real life and
Real
music.
Life and Music. Yeah, this is gonna be the
Hmm.
second half of mid-season, which you will get a teaser next week as well. So on that note, guys, thank you, my co-host again. Thanks to all
Period.
the hosts that came through. And to next week, guys, I will see
Peace.
you next Wednesday at 9:31 of those time. Peace out. Thank you guys so much, co-hosts, everybody that came through.
Have a
Bye.
good night,
Thank you.
bye. Thank you for
All right,
having me up, y'all.
Y'all,
all right, thank you,
y'all.
Bryce. Have a good night, honey. All right, guys, y'all have a good night.